We have learnt this morning that Gabriel Jesus is set for an extended spell out with an ACL rupture. Still suspected, still got to be confirmed, but I think we're pretty sure that is the case. Further specialist reviews on the striker are planned today to establish the full extent of the injury. On yesterday's show, before of course we learned just how bad things were for Jesus, celebrity gooner Piers Morgan spelled out exactly how desperately a striker is needed.
I mean, look, how many times have I been on your show in the last, I don't know, say 3 years since Aubameyang got shoved out the door, who was a genuinely world-class striker, in my opinion, and had an amazing scoring record for Arsenal. And all right, Arteta didn't want him, fine. So who are you going to replace him with? And the reality is, I very calmly, each time I've come on, politely suggested we need to sign a proper striker. The days for calm are now over, gentlemen. We need a bloody striker!
Where do you
get one?
Here's a thought, Coisty.
Yep.
Maybe they could go to Crystal Palace and ask for Eddie Nketiah on loan.
No, but it's the irony will not be lost. It's funny. I mean, it's taken an injury to Gabriel Jesus to perhaps push them over the line and going to get centre forward, which is something I think certainly you and I are in agreement should have happened a long time ago. It's who they get.
Absolutely.
And see, the thing is now, they knew it before, the selling club knows that they're desperate. Absolutely desperate.
So the price goes through the roof.
20 million becomes 30 million, 40 million becomes 50 million, and that's they can only blame themselves. They won't get themselves to blame for that particular situation. But who did they get? You mentioned one that's completely not, I would never say left field, but it's kind of going on under the radar a little bit. Tammy Abraham. They just need somebody that can effectively stand in the 6-yard box and score goals. That's what they need, because you look at the chances that they do create, plentiful the chances, and if you're a centre forward and a goal scorer, you'd fancy playing in that team. You'd fancy yourself a 20-25 a season.
Of course you would. Well, let's get some more ideas. Here's our European football expert Kevin Hatchard with some of the options Mikel Arteta could be looking at.
If Arsenal want a low-cost option, they could approach Bayern Munich to see if they'd be willing to part company on loan with their young French forward Mathys Tel. He's somebody who could play down the left of a front three, but also through the middle. He's a promising talent, but has found game time hard to come by. Also, Rondal Colomouani surplus to requirements at PSG, although he's being heavily linked with a move to Juventus. And if they want a much more costly option, but perhaps a real coup, they could try and rival Manchester City for Omar Marmoush, somebody who can play as a striker, as a 10, and also as a winger. He's been exceptional in the Bundesliga for Eintracht Frankfurt this season, but he wouldn't be cheap. The going rate is thought to be €80 million.
And Marmoush, look, he's had a couple of absolutely fantastic seasons. Correct. But it looks like the deal with Manchester City is getting very close to being done. So that would take some date crashing, wouldn't it?
I'm listening to Kevin, right, and he's come up with some good suggestions, excellent players, but he keeps saying potential, can play 10, can play winger. They don't need that.
No.
They need a Haaland type figure.
They need somebody to put the ball in the back of the net.
Correct. I don't know, in an ideal world, in the current situation and the way the game's played, if you can play a false 9 and a 10 and play in a wide area, great, that's fantastic, but that is not the priority. They need somebody that can sit in the 6-yard box and finish things off.
Yeah, and as you say, that is going to cost money. And of course, they don't grow on trees, do they? Arsenal fans, we want to hear from you this morning. Who would you like to see Mikel Arteta sign to replace Gabriel Jesus up top? 03717223344 is the number to call. Nick is an Arsenal fan. He's called us this morning. Morning, Nick.
Very good morning, Nick.
Good morning to you, Pope. I think that we're waiting for Sesko. I think we're going to sign him in the summer. He didn't want to come last summer because he won another year in Germany. And Arteta's right, I believe, because you don't want to go out and buy a striker you don't necessarily want. We're not going to win the Premier League this season. We qualify for the Champions League. Havertz is quite capable. We have to bring in the youth player. We have to bring in the youth player if anything happens to Havertz. But I feel comfortable that we're going to, a game in the FA Cup against Man United the other night, we should have won. It was one of them games, if you ever play football, Havertz missed one from 2 yards out, missed a penalty, and they win on penalties. happens in cup games. We're still in the League Cup. As an Arsenal supporter, I'm not worried. I believe he's got a project. I believe he's going to get the best players. And I think Sesko will suit our team down to the ground. He'll be an absolute star at our team.
It's a funny one, Nick. You know something? I admire your patience. I really, really do. And probably I'm about to back your patience up. You look at somebody like Klopp, who took his time. He wanted Alisson. He wanted Van Dijk. Couldn't get them at the particular time he wanted them, but hung on and got them. And the rest, as they say, is history. They formed the spine of a fantastic side. But do you not think, to a certain degree, Nick, that Arsenal have looked and needed a proper out-and-out number 9 goal-scoring centre-forward for a long, long time, for a team that harbours dreams and hopes of winning a title?
Oh, without that. I don't know why. He seems a bit shy on the striker side. He's great with midfielders and defenders. I don't know why, but it is really who's out there.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can say you need a 20-goal a year striker. There's not many out there, and a lot of them are overpriced. They're not really. You're going to pay £80 million just for a striker who's going to score you 15 goals a season, which is not good enough. And I think the Arsenal way is finding these gems and turn them into stars. Like the expectation of Arsenal fans is that we should win the league every year. Now, we're not financially on the same footing as Man City and Chelsea were, Newcastle were, but we're always there or thereabouts. And our top priority is to be in the Champions League, not to win the league. The league comes along.
I'm not sure a lot of Arsenal fans would agree with you. You've been there and thereabouts for a long time. You've got to have the ambition, haven't you, Nick, to win the league?
Oh, of course. We've got the ambition, but we do win the league. That's the thing. I know it has been 20 years, but we do win a league. We pop up every decade, more or less every decade. Well, we haven't last 2, obviously. But we do tend to win the league. We're like one of the smaller, bigger teams that win the league, win the cups. We're always in everything. We've always got a chance at everything. And that's what I like about supporting Arsenal. We go quite far in the cups most of the time. We're in the last sort of pros of the Champions League. And we're always challenging for the league. This season, I believe Liverpool got it, no matter what.
Nick,
I just think.
Thank you very much indeed, mate. You are a very patient man indeed.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure Arsenal fans, I mean, their season ticket's the most expensive in the country. I'm not sure a lot of Arsenal fans would be as patient as that. But there you go, Nick showing real patience. Wait until the summer, he says. And I do get that, because you are going to pay a premium price now, and the choice may be not great. But, you know, Arsenal sitting second in the table, you know, especially if Liverpool were to lose at Nottingham Forest tonight, it's by no means over.
Of course, and you cannot think like that for a minute.
No.
Absolutely, it's not over.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.